Hello and welcome to FountainFX on the 17th of April 2015. I just want to run through and summarize the US dollar currency pairs this week. Looking at the 1 hour chart for the New Zealand dollar against the US dollar, and we can see that very much beginning of April the New Zealand dollar has been gaining strength against the US dollar. And a lot of currencies have done that. The US dollar has been showing some weakness this month, basically, in terms of the overall economic views of the US dollar, despite their strength in terms of coming out of recession and everything looking rosy there. The US dollar has started to show some weakness. So how can we take advantage of this? Well, you can see here that clearly price did fall this week on this particular currency pair. Break of this particular counter trend line. If we plot a trend line here, you can see there you go. The break of that gave us a nice strong uptrend, so we can continue with this push up. Because obviously it got as high as here, we saw some consolidation and then price then came back, and that's typically how price can move. Let's have a look at the Australian dollar. The Aussie dollar, slightly more in an area of consolidation. Very much at its low point here, not really showing much strength, trying to push higher, but very much range bound between a high of the 77 cents to the US dollar and 77 US dollars to the Aussie dollar, 77 cents, and down to the 75. So we're talking 200 pips between the two. Not a lot. From an Aussie point of view, it would be nice to see their currency gain some strength. Let's look at the Rand. This is very much just on a 1 hour chart, not a 4 hour chart as we saw with the Aussie dollar. And the Rand is consolidating. It is showing some strength. It did reach a low of 12 rands 50 to the US dollar last month. Not really too far from that. Price is currently at 12 rands and 7 cents. So we're 43 cents away from its lowest level. It's still not showing any signs of strength in terms of the Rand. So it's just purely an element of range bound before the inevitable, which is the Rand continues to fall, but we shall see. Let's go and look at the CAD. The CAD is showing some sizable strength against the US dollar, especially if we look on this 4 hour chart for what happened on Wednesday. We saw price fall from the 125.60 level down to the 121.20. So I mean, that's a good 440 point drop this week on the US dollar CAD. So the US dollar is starting to show some weakness out there in the marketplace. No matter what its statistics are showing, it's actually starting to show some weakness. If we look at it against the yen as well, we can see that the yen, yes, it got back up into this area of resistance, but it started to turn and fall again. Maybe it breaks below here. But we shall see. At the end of the day, the yen would prefer the dollar to be strong, but it can't be strong for too long. Pound is showing some strength against the US dollar, but if we look here, back in March there was some US dollar data and came out, and the pound did turn and resurge all the way up to the 151.60 area, and price this week has just been going through a nice step pattern. From the low of the 145.90, so just below the 146. Price is closed out at the 150.20. So we've seen a nice 400 points gain in the marketplace. We saw over 100 points on Friday, and if we look here, we're now broken into this gap here. So we have a potential. Price continues to push up. It may pull back down and then continue on up, but we've got from here, we've got to push all the way up to 150, which is another good 130 to 140 points. And finally, let's have a look at the Euro US dollar, which you can see here. The Euro did show a lot more strength against the US dollar in the last month than the pound has shown, because this was the reaction on the same day in March as the pound had. For the euro, pushed all the way up to the 110.30 from the low of the 104.70, and price then pushed and surged all the way back up here. Has formed an area of resistance and has turned and fallen since the beginning of April. So we've had a nice short from the 110.30 all the way back down into this low range. Certainly if you are shorting that, it may be the opportunity to take some profit from that, but we've now started to see some resurgence in strength. But as you can see, in terms of the MACDs and the moving averages and that, it may just be using this as an area of resistance for it to then continue to push down. But we shall see. A bit of consolidation on Friday. Maybe this nice spinning top candlestick formation followed by the bullish engulfing candlestick is confirmation that price really continues to want to go up, with a nice target up here at the 110.20. So that's it for this week. Happy trading. We will catch you next Friday. All the best from FountainFX. Bye bye.